So we've just left Kalamata to go to the Mani Peninsula and Areopoli, where I'm hoping to do a couple of videos, and I just had to stop. We've only been going 10 minutes because look at this and how beautiful it is in mid-March. And over here we see Kalamata. It's just absolutely fabulous at the moment. So here I am at the start of my Mani tour in Areopoli, and I would recommend that this is a place that if you're coming to Mani, you base yourself out of, at least to start, because it's on the edge of deep Mani, and it's a bit of a journey to get here. So let's have a look around and see what this place has to offer. Areopoli itself, it really evokes, in my opinion, Mani as a whole, because Mani as a whole, the peninsula, is a history of strife and trouble and war. But Areopoli derives from the god of war, Ares, hence the name Areopoli. But here in the main square, we have a memorial to Petrus Mavromichalis. Now, those of you who have watched my video on the Independence Day in Kalamata will know that Petros Mavromichalis was one of 3 individuals who declared independence from the Ottoman state in Kalamata, the first city to be liberated in Greece, on the 23rd of March 1821. They stood outside a church with Papaflasis and Theodore Kolokotronis and declared independence, but he came from Areopoli. We're quite a way up here. I'd say we're probably 400 or 500 meters up, but we're right by the coast. And as I said, it's a fantastic place to base yourself out of if you are going to explore Mani, as we're going to over the next couple of days. And you can see it's highly picturesque, and it's the commercial and financial centre, really, of the Mani Peninsula. I'm not going to tell you it's huge. It's not huge, but it's very characteristic with these tower houses, these sort of fortress houses, which were owned by and protected the families in Mani, because Mani itself and the Mani Peninsula was an area riven with strife. And there's a saying in Greece, if you're a very tough person, if you're a very hard person, or if you're a very angry, fighty person, do you come from Mani? Because that was the history of Mani, really. It was riven with pirates and war, and it was never conquered. I mean, originally it was part of Sparta. That in itself makes it pretty tough. And even when Alexander the Great conquered Greece, he never conquered Sparta or Mani. And you can see it's a beautiful place. It's a great place to come. Here we are, 25th of March. I've come up from Kalamata. If you're driving from Athens, and I would advise driving because you need a car to explore Mani. If you come on a coach, that's fine, but you'll obviously be restricted to where they take you. If you come in a car, you can explore Mani, and there's no real public transport system here. So without a car, you're going to be a bit stuck. So come in a car from Athens, and it's a long drive, I'll tell you. It's about 4 hours. The best way to do it, though, is to come from Athens down to Kalamata, spend a night in Kalamata, perhaps, and then drive on down to Mani. Then you break up the journey. It's about 2.5 hours to Kalamata from Athens, and then a further 1.5 to 2 hours from Kalamata into Mani. The road to Kalamata is fantastic, very easy, dual carriageway the whole way from Athens. When you leave Kalamata and you come down here, you're doing 70 kilometers in total, but it's going to take you 2 hours because the road is so twisty and windy. It's amazing, and you want to stop on the way. We didn't rush. I mean, you'll see in my video the coastline as we drove down, and it was just fantastic. And we had to stop numerous times just to look at what was happening. And it's breathtaking, to be honest, the coastline. I mean, this place is really interesting as well. I haven't even started to explore yet. We've got a couple of days here. I'm going to go to the Diros Caves. The Diros Caves are world famous. You take a boat into the caves. You can only go about 1.5 kilometers into the caves. They go a total of 14 kilometers. We're going there tomorrow morning. We'll take a boat. It's about 10 kilometers drive from here. And then we're going to go down to Vatheia. And Vatheia is a medieval village, probably a little bit like this one, but this one, as I said, 18th century. Vatheia has a history going back thousands of years. So in 1821, in the time of Petros Mavromichalis, Areopoli had only been established for about 100 years. It's a relatively new town in terms of Greek history, but the main square was actually here in this fortified area of the town, and it was here in the middle of this square that Petros Mavromichalis, on the 17th of March 1821, first raised the flag of independence and declared that Areopoli in particular was independent from the Ottoman state. He then, I guess, got on his pony or his horse, probably his horse, and went to Kalamata, where he met with Papa Flaccus, Father Flaccus, and also Theodore Kolokotronis, the great general. And they raised the flag of independence yet again outside the Church of Apostles in Kalamata. And that really precipitated then the Independence War, because 2 days later, 3 days later, 4 days later, no one's quite sure, but Bishop Yamanos in Patras again raised the independence flag. The War of Independence established the Hellenic state, but it started here with Petros Mavromichalis at this spot where he raised the flag of independence. And this town, although unassuming, little small fortress town, beautiful with a church and so on, was effectively the start of the Greek War of Independence and the establishment of the Hellenic state. So you can see it's beautifully preserved. It's a fantastic place, as I said, to base yourselves out of if you're coming down to explore the Mani Peninsula. There are plenty of restaurants and bars here. It's March and you can see it's still lively, Sunday afternoon, and I would highly recommend it. Very picturesque. It's not a huge place. You can explore it in 10 or 15 minutes if I'm honest with you, but it's a lovely place to explore Mani from. 10 kilometers from the Diros Caves. It's about 50 minutes if you wish to visit the Gates of Hades, for example, or if you wish to go to the most southerly point in Europe, mainland Europe anyway. And you can see they really look after this place. It's got loads of character. And there are some good hotels here. Also a lot of churches. I think there are 7 churches or something like that. Completely different to Gytheia. We'll get to Gytheia in a minute. But this is real Greece. Or at least real Greek history. So, good morning. I have left Areopoli and travelled a very easy 30 minutes, and it was a very easy 30 minutes drive, across the Mani Peninsula from Areopoli to here in Gytheia. I have to say it's quite windy, but it's 30 minutes easy drive. We drive from the west coast of Mani to the east coast of Mani. It's not far, it's only about 20 or so kilometres. And Gytheia is completely different, as you can see, to Areopoli. Areopoli is a traditional fortress town of history, whereas Gytheia, whilst having history itself, is very much a seaside town. Now, I'm not going to tell you it has a beach, but it is a port. It's beautiful, I have to say. And this is my other recommendation, should you wish to base yourself somewhere decent for the Mani Peninsula. It's a little bit further from Deep Mani than Areopoli, but not far. And it's really take your pick. What do you fancy? Do you want the traditional fortress town of Areopoli, or do you wish to be on the seaside? Both of them have plenty of restaurants. Here in Gytheia, there are loads of restaurants down by the seafront. You can see them along here and behind me as well. And I would highly recommend these hotels. You need to be a little bit careful with both in March, April, because a lot of the hotels won't open until April or even May, because that's when the tourist season really begins. But there are hotels open, particularly for domestic trade. We found one in Areopoli, which was very nice, I have to say, a boutique hotel. Just search up Areopoli's boutique hotel. So we stayed, it was very good. Now, none of these places are huge. Mani itself is very rugged and very rural and well worth exploring. But I would highly recommend either Areopoli or Gytheia as a base for explorations. Just round the bay from Gytheia over there, we have this beautiful, pretty isolated beach, which is fairly typical of beaches in Greece until you look left and you see what's here. It's fantastic. I couldn't miss this. I had to come and see this. I've seen it on Google Earth before. I knew it was roughly here. See it from the road very easily. Quite easy to stop off. There's a little turn to the right. And here we are, Shipwrecked. So let's go and have a look at it. It's fantastic. I know nothing about it. I can't tell you its history or anything. I haven't researched it. I just thought it's here and I need to stop on my way to Vatheia and have a look at it. We're about 4 hours drive from Athens. You don't have to come straight down here in one go. You can stop off at Sparta or Kalamata, and in fact I recommend particularly Kalamata, You can see Mistras as well, which is very close to Sparta. UNESCO World Heritage Site, an abandoned medieval village. It's fantastic. And I have videos on all these places, so please have a look at the site. Subscribe if you like what you see. I'd really appreciate a subscription. I don't think people realise, I didn't realise, just how important subscriptions are to a YouTube channel. But have a look. Use my local knowledge and my guides to hopefully help you plan your trip here, and I hope you really enjoy the Mani Peninsula. Please watch some of my other videos, and I look forward to making more videos for you shortly. Thank you.